In the 17 years that I have been acting as your law director, we have done everything we can to save money for you. According to the research done by our head of our civil division, Kevin Lamadou, we have actually 50 less hours of civil attorneys working per week than we had before I became law director. 50 less. That's a full-timer and a part-timer. We have played ball. Every time we've been asked to cut, we've cut. We've never replaced the secretary that we cut. We have a prosecutor down. We did our furloughs. We did our paybacks. I dragged my desk out of the basement after somebody in the courts threw it out. You know, we haven't frivolously used your money. As you know, we've sometimes been behind in some things. And we're at the point now where the reason this ordinance is before you is to alleviate that situation. We had an assistant law director retire nearly 3 months ago, bringing us that difference between where we used to be in terms of civil person hours down even more. So we've tried to pick it up between the rest of us and the civil division, but unlike police, we can't send out fewer cruisers. Unlike fire stations, we can't close fire stations. We can only get the work out slower. Some of that work is work some of us cannot do. It's a specialized nature. And I've been trying to avoid hiring it out to private counsel at the rate of $200 an hour or so. When we hire assistant law directors, it's usually in such a range that given their salary and their fringes, they're usually making something between 30 and 40 something, maybe 50 something at the head of the division per hour. Significantly less than hiring this work out to a private law firm. What brings me to you is this. In the last 3 months, we've fallen farther behind. And the reason I'm asking you to take a look at this tonight is I can't be here 2 weeks from tonight. I have a long-standing reservation of decades standing in Colorado where I hope to be rubbing some non-THC medicinal cannabis into my dislocated and arthritic hip. 2 weeks from tonight.
That sounds like you, Lord.
We're calling gummy bears.
So, and I'm not trying to be irresponsible. I understand after having viewed our director's presentation that money is tight. But I am lucky enough to have been at the table, to have been working with our consultant, Mark Burns, for many decades now, trying to get the best rates we can for city accounts for gas and electricity. And I'm happy to announce that with the help of wonderful people like your service director and John Hyman and a few others, the rates that have been negotiated are estimated to save the city, now mostly in the proprietary funds, hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not a million, over the next few years, because the rates are that favorable now for electricity through this brokerage program. And it doesn't cost you or our taxpayers anything. So the good news is there will be some funds available in proprietary funds in the general fund over the next few years that will shake and loose that way. So I don't want to act irresponsibility. I've also promised your chairman of the finance committee that we will find ways, if we get this $50,000, to try to save on it by allocating some monies to proprietary funds. As you all know, we've done our best. Many of our employees, criminal side, there's one that's completely paid by grant. On the civil side, lots of us do work for the proprietary funds. We do work for water, sewer, sanitation. So we give that proportion, we take that proportion of our work and bill it to those funds. So we are a fairly inexpensive use of your general funds because we found ways to apportion it out legally. At the beginning of the year, we were cut significantly. And in the half year that's gone by so far, that has gone back into your general fund. What I'm asking you to do through this ordinance this evening is restore $50,000 to the general fund, again, so that I can get somebody lined up. I've got a really outstanding attorney lined up, possibly, to come in and start taking this load off and churning stuff out, and a good backup if that doesn't work out. And I'm working, as has Chris and some other members of our staff, on finding ways to reallocate into the proprietary funds and also to make use of CD funds if they shake loose for the CD work we do and for the code enforcement work and some of the NIP funds that may be reappropriated. So I'm not here throwing something up to see if it sticks. I'm trying to responsibly ask you for your favorable consideration in restoring part of what was cut at the beginning of the year so that we can get someone on board to better serve you, to better serve the elected officials, to better serve the citizens of the city with work in a timely fashion. Thank you.
Okay, well, talking with some of my committee members, I know you're requesting second reading vote.
Yes.
With the understanding that we are going to be, I know you're going to be leaving, not going to be here in 2 weeks, but we're going to be meeting at your availability over the next week, coming weeks. I'd like to hold this in committee, have this be a full 3 readings, iron out some of those details that you're speaking of. And I think that everybody sitting around here can acknowledge you need a body, you need another body up there. And we want to help you with that. And I will make myself available. I know other members of the committee will make themselves available. But I think that there's some additional work that needs done. I think it's important work to do leading up before we vote on this. And speaking with my committee, I think that seems to be the direction we'd like to go. So we're going to hold this in committee for a week, or for a meeting, I should say. Have it see its full 3 readings, and we will schedule meetings between us and our committee to iron out these other steps that you're talking about for paying for this.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, if I may?
Yes.
Are we actually going to have meetings, or are we going to sit back and close doors and have negotiations, which were very disrespectful to this body as a whole? I mean,
And we're going to have
right, I mean,
meetings.
are we going to include the Finance Committee in these meetings?
Absolutely.
As long as it happens.
No, I personally had multiple meetings discussing this, so yes, those will continue. Yeah, Member Harmon, please.
Mr. Chairman, I expected tonight to vote to support the additional $50,000 appropriation. And I don't know if I don't know if I would say we've had a meeting earlier today, but I was informed earlier today that in terms of general fund sense, there is no $50,000. And going back to a message I received from you 3 weeks ago, there was some talk about, as you stated now, some money for some different. I guess what I want to get at, echoing what Mr. Morris said, so far I'm hearing things that have been conversations and rumors, and I hear from various sources around City Hall. Nobody has sat me down in a meeting and shared any numbers with me. Is that going to happen?
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually did not know about a reading vote prior to Friday when we got our agendas. So that was not something that I was aware of. But yeah, absolutely. I would love to have those conversations. I just wasn't expting that.
Okay, because I want to be able to do this.
Of course.
And
I don't think
so we're going to talk about $57 million budget. We're going to sit down here in July and talk about where we're going to come up with 50 grand so the law department can do our work.
Yes.
Okay. I'll be as available as I can.
Hopefully it's more than
I hope.
That would be fantastic in terms of getting work out for all of you.
Okay.
Full-time would be outstanding.
Yes.
I agree
Yes.
as well.
I think we all agree with that. Okay, it is 6:45.